princesses! Today I'm going to be answering some frequently asked questions about my hair. So the first question always is, are you wearing extensions? And the answer is no. All of my hair belongs to my head, although it is obviously dyed. I do have quite a lot of it, but I did grow it myself, I pinky promise. Another question that I get asked a lot is, do you dye your hair? And yes, of course I do. It's kind of hard to see because it's pulled back at the moment, but you can see where the natural colour is, which is pretty much black. It's not quite black if you do measure it up with the hairdresser's swatches. It's like the very darkest of brown, but yes, it is pretty much black, which makes it extremely difficult to bleach. You can see right at the top of my head that the colour is, it needs to be toned actually, but it's quite orange where the bleach starts. So that part of my head has actually had 3 layers of bleach done already, and it's still in its orange phase, whereas the rest of my hair has had a bit more bleach, and so it's turned into a nicer sort of like cream beige kind of colour. I don't know if I can ever go more blonde than this because my hair just hates going blonde for some reason. So yeah, and I actually have a chunk in here somewhere that is blue as well. I can't find it. It was purple, and I think I showed you guys at the end of January, but it's gone to like a kind of murky blue. You can kind of see a little bit of it there, but it kind of just looks grey at the moment. But the bottom half of my hair has been bleached maybe 5 times, and that's the lightest that it's gotten. Of course, having the length that I have and wanting to keep the length means that my hairdresser can't just go ahead and like bleach the absolute life out of my hair, otherwise it would fall off and I would be extremely unhappy. So that's why it's still kind of orange patches. Ah, there's the green bit. Hi. It kind of looks like, I don't know, like icy blue. I don't mind it, honestly. The biggest question that I get asked is how to grow your hair. And that's a really hard question because I literally don't do anything to grow my hair very long. It is literally natural talent. It's genetics. It's part of what makes me me, is the ability to grow my hair really, really long. I also have a lot of it. Like, I have a lot of hair. It is thick. I have lots of strands of hair, and the strands are very thick as well, which means that when I grow it long, I'm able to grow it out quite a lot without cutting it before it looks quite straggly. So if you have less hair and you try and grow it out, of course the hair splits, you get breakage, and the ends of your hair end up looking really, really fine and kind of just a bit nasty if you don't have thick hair. Having thick hair means that I'm able to hide the split ends and the tragic half of my hair where it isn't quite as healthy. So that is, again, just something that's naturally talented of mine. So you can see that the bottom actually does need to be cut, and I think I'm actually going to cut maybe like, I think about that much off of it as well. Maybe tomorrow, maybe in a couple of months when I go and get it dyed again, because it is starting to feel a little bit gross with all of the bleach. I don't take any supplements to grow my hair or anything special like that. I don't use any products to grow it. I don't use any like special combing methods. It literally is just a good growth pattern. I'm also really good at growing my nails. It took me about a month to reach this length, which is, I cut them down to just below my fingers for my orchestra trip that I did last month, and it's really hard to see, but you can kind of see the whites. That's how much my nails grow in 1 month, which is pretty good. I can't recommend any supplements or anything that you can do to grow your hair, but one of the things I did when I was growing it from, the shortest I've had it for quite some time was probably about here, and that was in 2009. And since then, because I had the goal of having long hair, and I was very poor and I couldn't afford to have it cut, I just didn't cut my hair. And if I wanted to cut it, I would do it at home and I would do it myself. Was it the best haircut in the world? No. But was I doing anything fancy? No. So I would say once it reached about here, so from growing from here to here, I started to just cut it myself instead of going to the hairdresser, because all you have to do is pick it up by the ends and make sure that you've brushed everything out and just cut the ends off basically. So I would pull it straight, that's all your tips there, and I would cut maybe like that much off. once per year, maybe twice if it was really ratty. But yeah, it's easy to cut like that. You just make sure that it looks somewhat even in the mirror. If you bring it down like this, then you can see how even it is side to side, and then if you turn around, then you'll be able to see how even it is too. And anytime you tell a hairdresser that you want to cut it yourself, or you have been cutting it yourself, they will cringe. They will cringe from experience. It cost about $100 to get my hair cut, even if I'm getting a trim, just for them to like wash it, dry it, and like be touching it. That's how much it costs because of the length. And if you're getting that much cut off, it just seems like a waste of money. So I did it myself for, I would say maybe like 3 years, I think. And that stopped the bottoms from looking too straggly. But again, like I said, because I have thick hair and I have a lot of it, it definitely helps to mask it while I was growing it out. The only other tip for growing hair is to not use hot tools on it and not dye it. So those things are known to damage your hair, and I had virgin hair this length before I started dyeing it. I only started dyeing it after I achieved the length that I wanted to, not because I didn't want to, but because I just wasn't really interested in dyeing my hair previous to dyeing it this color, I guess. Like, I like my natural color. I like it a lot. I think it looks good. But I was interested in having lighter hair for a little while before I knew how much freaking effort it takes to maintain. So, and I like my natural hair texture as well. So this is my hair. I washed it yesterday and I just had it in a braid while I was sleeping, and it just has a nice, like, it just sits in nice waves, you know, like it doesn't look like anything special, but this is what my hair normally would look like. If I brush it, it is quite frizzy, so all I've done is I've taken the braid out after sleeping, and this is what my hair will look like until I brush it, which is quite good. When I do brush it, I do look a little bit like Hagrid. Not gonna lie, it does frizz up quite a bit, but just put some product in it, and then go to sleep with a braid in it, and it'll be like this in the morning anyway. So of course, if you want to grow it, I would recommend stopping bleaching it, and I'd recommend stopping straightening it, because it does damage your hair. Even if you use protective products, it still damages your hair. I get asked how long it is quite often, and the explanation for me is like, it usually sits just below my thumb. Yeah, it's a little bit longer than it should be at the moment. Like I said, I am going to get it cut, but I don't know if I can do it tomorrow or not. So I'm going in tomorrow to get it toned because it is a little bit brassy. And I don't know if she has time to give me a haircut, but we will see. I will show you guys what it looks like. I'm hoping that I can get the camera to focus, because I'm going to have to like turn around and go kind of far back. Also, I'm wearing pajama pants, so have fun with that. I hope that's in focus, but yeah, it's quite a lot. Otherwise, if this isn't in focus or isn't good enough, then I'll just post some photos of what it looks like when it's all in one shot. I get asked a lot if it is heavy or if it's hot. Yes and no. It's literally like a blanket. Like I said, there's a lot of hair and it covers my entire back. So in winter, it's actually kind of nice because I get cold really quickly, and so it does keep me a little bit more warm than usual. In summer, it's almost like a little bit of hell because it is so hot, and if you're like sweaty and sticky, the hair sticks to you. And if I stand too close to someone and they move their arms, sometimes my hair gets stuck under their armpits, and it's just kind of weird. Like, there's some weird things about having long hair. I don't find it heavy because your hair grows slowly, you know, like it's not an overnight thing. It's not like I just banged in like a head full of extensions and I'm like, oh my god. I don't feel any different from when I had shorter hair to what I have now, because it's taken years to get it to this length and you just adjust to it. I think that if I was to cut it really short from this length, I would feel like my head was incredibly light, because that would be such a drastic difference. But no, in general, it doesn't feel heavy. The only time I really feel the weight of it is if I put it up in ponytails, which is why you don't always see me wearing ponytails, because I have to put them really high on my head. So because it is heavy, obviously, like there is a lot of hair, if I put my ponytail like back here, gravity will pull it downwards and I'll really feel the weight. Whereas if I put it on more on the top of my head, like a little cheerleader ponytail, because it's sitting on top, the gravity doesn't pull quite as much. And I also use pins to secure it to the top of my head so it doesn't wiggle or anything like that. Or if I wear buns, I need to put the bun right on top of my head rather than any further back, because any further back pulls, and like it just feels like my forehead is just being pulled back like that, and it's uncomfortable. I also get asked about the maintenance for my hair, just in terms of how long it is. I wash my hair once per week. My scalp doesn't get very oily, and this is partially from using Accutane. So previous to Accutane, I would have had to wash my hair maybe like every 2 to 3 days, and let me tell you, it takes quite some time to dry, like almost a whole day to dry if I want to dry it nicely. And it takes me quite some time to wash it because it's long, and it also takes a lot of product. So yeah, only washing your hair once a week sounds extremely disgusting, but you know, like I wash it the day before I start work, or like the evening before I start work. So I have beautiful fresh clean hair for the first 5 days, and that's absolutely fine. It does get a little bit gross on the weekends. So if I have something that I want to do on the weekends, I'll wash it twice per week. Like, it's not a big deal, but usually I'm just at home chilling, so I just put my hair in a bun, and you know, you don't have to touch it or look at it, so who cares? In terms of washing it, my favorite products are from Joico. I'm currently using the K-Pack shampoo conditioner as well as their moisturizing hair mask, which I think is fantastic. I use a lot of hair masks in the shower. I always use a deep conditioning hair mask as well as my conditioner, because like this hair is so old, it needs that moisturization. When I get out of the shower, I use the Redken Blonde Idol, which is a lightweight multi-benefit conditioner, which is just like a leave-in spray conditioner, which is almost out. And then I also use the Redken Diamond Oil. This smells amazing, and it actually makes your hair look really, really shiny, which is something that I never had a problem with, because dark hair naturally is shiny. Blonde hair is not shiny. It looks dry, even though it's not dry. I didn't even know that was a problem until I bleached my hair. But the Redken oil is really, really nice to make it look shiny and feel a little bit softer. It's mostly for the shine though, and the reason that I have Redken products is because my salon is a Redken salon, and that's what they sell. How much does it cost to get your hair cut and dyed? Quite a lot. So if I get a full head of foils, a chemical treatment, so like Olaplex but not called Olaplex, it's like a bonding treatment, I get a toner, I get a blue weave, and I usually get a trim every time I get my hair bleached and dyed, and that generally costs me just above 300 New Zealand dollars, so 315, 325 most of the time, and it's not that much money considering how much hair I have and how much product they actually use on it. I think they do have like a $70 surcharge for like extra length, but like that's nothing in comparison to what I've been quoted at other salons. Oh, and the last one was someone asked me how I put my hair in a bun. So I thought I would show you guys, because I'm going to go downstairs and make coffee. This is the last video I'm filming, so I have like a cute little bow in it at the moment because, you know, cute little bows, and it also keeps my hair out of my face without pinning stuff to my head. So if you have long hair and you want that, because you know, like hairpin headaches are awful, barrettes are really good because they just have that little like clip, and then you can clip all of your hair back with that instead of using like bobby pins, which are a pain in the bum. Okay, maybe I'll sit further back for this. Okay, so I hope I'm in focus. You can kind of see most of my hair from here, and my lack of fringe or anything. Oh no, I'm wearing gloss. Tragedy has struck. So the first tip for having a nice bun is obviously to have brushed your hair, or at least have no knots in your hair. So then all I do is flip it forward. So you flip it forward and finger comb through to make sure there's no knots and try and smooth everything up. I don't use a hairbrush because I'm lazy. And then just scoop it up into like a high ponytail. So you have the length in one hand and your hand on top of your scalp. So twist your hair whichever way you want to go, and twist it really, really tight. And try and get as far as you can before it turns itself, so you can actually curl it into like a little coil. You want to make sure that the curl is as dense as possible, because with the length and the thickness that I have, my shirt's coming up, I would end up with like a muffin on top of my head if I didn't. So keep twirling and just keep turning it around like that. and then tuck the ends underneath. And then with your extra large hair tie that you have prepared earlier, I just pull it across, turn, and then on top. So this bad boy is a little bit off center today because I wasn't looking in the viewfinder that well, but yeah, that's how you get it up into like such a tight bun. If my hair is dirtier, it actually forms a bun much better because it sticks to itself. And then I have like the little pieces that always get stuck in my earrings, and they always stay short, which looks cuter. And little baby hairs. Oh, that's so off center. You can kind of like push it around as well, which is quite good. And if you want it to look bigger, you can like pull it out from the top and everything, but that's pretty much it. But that's what I mean by having the bun on top of my head. If it's any further back, it'll start to fall out itself, but I can like, it's pretty stable for what it is. But that is it for my hair frequently asked questions. If you have any more questions for me, do leave them down below and I will do my best to answer them. But otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you next time.